Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good this Thursday morning. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell if you haven't done so already. Make sure you stay up to date with content, streams, uploads, all of the good stuff. So make sure you have hit the bell. But guys, hope everyone's doing well. Make sure you check out the Discord for Elevating Traders, completely free to join at the top of the chat. You cannot miss it. Discount opportunities will be available there closer to launch. But guys, welcome. William, good morning. Hope you're doing good. New Zealand yen being a pain at the moment, 100%, my man. It broke really aggressively to the upside. It's actually one of the more bullish yen pairs. I think NZD is a little bit strong. But yeah, it is being a pain. FX Wolf, good morning. Welcome to the stream. JVY pairs moving funny. Yeah, just chill waiting for September candle. Yeah, September candle will open on Monday. Yeah, because the first is Sunday, so it'll open on Monday. So yeah, the August candle's about to close. We'll see how that's looking on Friday, because that will be very, very interesting. Got the weekly and the monthly. Always convenient. What's up, Brian? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I have no clue anymore. The structure. The reversal. Yeah, it kind of is like that, because it did look like the empires were reversing, and now it's like they're reversing the reversal. So that is actually a beautiful way to put it. It does kind of look like that. Yeah, it's quite awkward for the empires, I must admit. It's quite awkward because I'm still looking for that lower high, but I'm well aware that that lower high I'm looking for may be temporary, and then we see the market kind of continue to the upside, because potentially the trend to the upside still might not be over. Of course, as traders, we've got to speculate. We're not guaranteed the market to move in a certain direction. But after all that momentum we had in July, I'm still looking for a top for that to be found. I'm well aware it might kind of just move halfway before we continue. But I think there is still meat to the move to the downside. It just may not go full, the full swing back to the low, especially for New Zealand yen, which is breaking up higher as well. Still moving in that ascending channel, but breaking above 90.2, which is where I had my big levels for resistance, is definitely made it a bit more awkward, because I don't really have another significant area besides that. I mean, we could sell off from anywhere. We could come back into that high, for example, and sell off, but nothing that would excite me for a trade opportunity, I must say. So in terms of my personal view, I'm kind of taking a back seat with the yen pairs at the moment, especially New Zealand yen. Most of the other yen pairs are still kind of sideways. CAD yen is still sideways. Pound yen still sideways. New Zealand yen broke higher. Euro yen, that one actually looks like it's trying to break lower. So that tells me that euro is being very, very weak. But this one looks like it's trying to break lower. So euro yen is still technically somewhat bearish, but although we're kind of sideways with that one as well. Aussie yen still sideways. This one's looking a tad bullish as we push back to the high, but still sideways. Haven't really done much. Dollar yen, that one's been slowly bearish, but I think USD weakness has been the real governing force there. Right now, we've been a bit sideways over the past couple of days, and Swiss yen, that's still sideways, but rejecting the high pretty well. So I'm getting mixed signals with the yen pairs, I must say. New Zealand yen was just very bullish. I think that was purely because NZD. Did we have some NZD news last night? I wasn't aware of it because, yeah, NZD did break higher. NZD USD pushed up. NZD CAD pushed up a lot. So I think there was something going on with NZD, which I completely missed. But yeah, that resulted in bullish NZD, and we did break higher. So I think shorts are still looking okay, but I just don't expect to see the full swing anymore with the yen pairs. I think as things are shaping up, I would agree with William. The reversal does look like it's reversing. So I do think, especially looking at the JP225, which I do think still can push higher. And again, this is a good indication of what the yen pairs are going to do. If this one keeps pushing up higher, so do the yen pairs. If this one is going to sell off, then so do the yen pairs as well. But we're still kind of moving within that ascending channel. It doesn't look like we're about to sell off. If anything, we might see a push higher. So yeah, I think there is downside opportunity for the yen pairs, but I just don't think it will go very far. I don't think it will go very far. But the monthly candle, wow, look at the wick there on the monthly candle. Huge wick. So that kind of tells you a bit of a story as well. On the Japanese index, we had a huge sell-off this month, but it has literally amounted to nothing because we're about to close in the next couple of days, and that's about to close with just a massive wick to the downside. So that tells me that that move down was kind of a bit of a fake out, and we could be seeing price now use that to continue its trend to the upside. So yeah, looking at the monthly there, the Japanese index is not looking too hot, at least for the sellers anyway. That for me is a huge wick and more of a sign of bullish continuation rather than a reversal. And if that's the case, that will probably drag the yen pairs up higher. So yeah, it's been an awkward one. It's been an awkward one, I must admit. What's up, Ben? Good morning. Hope you're well. Dollar trading landing a meme coin this morning. Changing my name to Ordinaka FX. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Okay, so I'll keep a mental note of that. Make sure I remember. And Keba, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning. Good morning. Philip, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I'm doing good. I hope you are too. What's up, Az? Welcome to the stream. NZD seem like it's gained some strength. Yes. I will take a look at NZD CHF as well. Geez, you just trained that very quickly. Damn. I was expecting this to come into to action in a couple of days, but straight away. Tony Gold, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I took another position on the hour. Look, clean reversal. Yeah. Again, the downside is still there. The reason being the market's had such a big drop and now we've been pushing up very correctly and we're quite stretched as well. So just naturally, there's a move to the downside probably there for New Zealand yen and for some of the other yen pairs. Probably more so for New Zealand yen because this one's a bit more stretched. Other yen pairs are kind of just be moving sideways, so hard to call what they will do. But New Zealand yen, I do favor push down, at least back to the lower end of the channel. But the move that I've been looking for all week and last week as well, a move like this is becoming more and less likely. So yeah, I'm not so much confident in a move like this anymore. I do think we can see some downside. This is still very corrective. Typically, in ascending channels, we do break lower, but yeah, I just don't expect a full swing. I think we can push down to the lower end, maybe might break out, but I do think a higher low will form at some point as the Japanese index does start to push on. So shorts still look like a good option, but it's just the move, the full swing I'm looking for doesn't look likely anymore. So the idea, the swing I'm looking for, yeah, it doesn't look good. But from an intraday perspective, or at least for the rest of the week, I think downside is not such a bad bet. Other yen pairs, though, I wouldn't really look to touch them. In particular, CAD yen, not a big fan of the price action here. We might see price continue to range inside of that. So if that's your particular type of trade, you could find some nice scalps off the highs, scalps off the lows. We keep bouncing. So that could be a nice position. Pound yen doing something similar of that nature as well. Respecting the high, respecting the low. Could be some nice trades off the high, off the low as you look to play the range. But yeah, a lot of yen pairs are kind of doing that. Swiss yen's doing that as well. So yeah, a lot of range, but New Zealand yen probably will see some downside off that move. USD index. Okay, we'll take a look at the DXY. What's up, NHD? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. JPY is not in the best condition to trade now. Just chill. Okay. Do you only trade the JPY pairs? Ordinica? And take some getting used to. Do you only trade the JPY pairs? Brian, so you change your background each stream. Yeah, I mean, at this rate, it does look like that's the case, isn't it? It does look like my background's trading each stream. It probably will change again tomorrow as well. But yeah, we're moving some parts around. So, like I said yesterday, it's not the finished product. It will change a little bit. And probably will change a bit next month as well, to be honest. But it will be done at some point. But yeah, bear with the moving background. What's up, Devin? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Been a long time since I attended the session. Great to be back. Good to hear it, my man. Hope you're doing well. Any markets you're looking at, feel free to drop it down in the old chat. In terms of the DXY US index, we did see a bit of upside, which we kind of were anticipating yesterday. It did look like price was really struggling to break through that low. Hence, we got that lovely double bottom in. And then on stream, we're kind of trading around this price here as price was trying to break the high. So it was a brief indication that we could see some upside. I said there's a good chance we get to this area, but any more would be not a bonus, but any more would be something that the market is breaking structure, because this would be our lower high that gave us that low. So to break through this, it will be a bigger indication that more upside is to come. We could see some upside, tag this area and still sell off. So we're still kind of in that bearish flow, but breaking that area would indicate to me that USD's probably got a bit more strength to it. We are coming from a pretty big low, just above 100.5. So there is that possibility for a pretty big move higher if USD wants to go for it. I do think longer term we're still bearish and we're still likely to hit this low here, just below 100, 99.8. I still do see USD coming back to that low, but maybe dollar wants to go through a bit of bullish price action, bit of necessary retracement. It's been so bearish, so that would make a lot of sense. But I do think the bigger move is still likely to push lower. So if we do see some USD strength over the next few days, I'll be looking to try and find the top to that for price to continue down. Last week, I mentioned this area here is a nice place for a retest. Didn't see it happen last week. Probably won't see it happen this week either, because that's going to be a very bullish Thursday, Friday for us to get all the way up there before the end of the week. So maybe next week or the week after, I'm not too sure. Depends how long it takes, but something like that could end up being a nice opportunity to take USD back to the downside. And of course, look into the long euro, possibly look into long pound, and maybe look into short USD CAD. If this one can finally retrace for me, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, in terms of my analysis for USD, it's still very much to the downside. But from where we're trading, the price action we're seeing, I do think we can see a bit more upside. But the longer term view is still down back to 99.8. So we have seen a bit of downside for euro. We have seen a bit of downside for pound, more so with euro. I think euro is a lot weaker. You can see pound, we've seen a little bit, but nothing crazy. Euro had a bit of a sell-off this morning. But we are trading at a pretty big level right now, 1.11. So I'm going to see what Euro USD does. If it can hold on to this, I think this is a great place for a buy. If we do start breaking lower, doesn't mean I'm bearish, but I will start looking at some of these areas as we come a lot lower, around 1.09. I still do like the high there, even much so the high there as well. But for me, as euro comes lower, I'll be looking to try and find some opportunities to buy, because my target still lies all the way up here at 1.125. That's still where I see euro going. Equally with the DXY, I still see the DXY pushing to the low. So they're kind of the corresponding level for each market, back to 99.67 for USD and back to 1.125 for euro. Pound USD, I see something similar as well. But again, this one might be going for a breather now, as we've had such a big move over the past few days. A necessary pullback is pretty necessary. But yeah, we've seen a pretty bullish month, I must say, for the USD pairs. You can see they're about to get the candle closure tomorrow. And that's looking like a pretty bullish August to me for pounds, pretty bullish August to me for September. Actually, that'll be a pretty interesting close there for euro, because on the monthly chart, we've really struggled to get closure above 1.105 there. And it looks like this candle, August, is also kind of struggling to get the closure above as well. So it'll be an interesting couple of days, Thursday, Friday, end of the week for August, because if we do pull back again and close underneath, probably could see September start bearish and see some downside. Not necessarily close bearish. It's hard to predict the closure of the next candle, but at least we could probably see a reaction off that resistance and some downside. Since you can see, we've really struggled to get some candle closures up there. But if we don't see that, and we see price close above it, then I would expect September just to continue push back to that high. Maybe a bit of a pullback to give us a bit of a bottom wick for the next candle, but then we're probably likely to push to the upside. So the euro candle closure for the monthly chart will be very, very interesting. I mean, pound's closing bullish anyway. So again, a bit of retracement, but I expect that to push on. USD CAD is closing very bearish, as we can see there, really nice bearish engulfing candle. So I think the odds are USD CAD does keep pushing back to that low there at 1.324. Probably all not in one move for next month, but I do think we'll probably eventually get there at some point. Yeah, and the USD, really strong close there. Aussie dollar, very strong close there. Looks like this floor has kind of held them. Price has respected it a few times for Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar. It looks like these guys want to reverse. If that's the case, maybe longer term, we're pushing back to the area up there. I wouldn't be surprised. Gold still looking bullish on that monthly candle. Silver, I like the wicks there, looking good. I think we can probably push on. And USD closing pretty bearish. So yeah, USD in that similar situation as with euro. You can see all the wicks there. Are we going to close and leave another wick? Or are we going to close strongly to the downside? Depending on what price does, it will give me a big indication of what the start of September could look like and what we could be looking at later on. But some interesting candle closures, I must say. Some interesting candle closures, especially USD pairs. I mean, I haven't looked at the others, but they can paint a big picture of what September could bring. What is up, Holy One of Israel? Welcome to the stream. Still no signals to get in yet. Yeah, it's the waiting game, my friend. It's the waiting game. But to be fair, that's not a bad situation to be in, because when you've got like a swing setup or a trade idea you're looking at, and it's kind of ticked every box, now you're kind of just waiting for your confirmations to get involved, or one more confirmation before you can get involved. Sometimes that's a nice place to be in, because you know exactly what you're after, you know exactly what you're looking for, and it's just a waiting game to see if that will come around. Sometimes when you're in the situation where there is no setups and you're kind of waiting for a potential setup, sometimes you can get a bit itchy hands, itchy feet, and start to force something when there's not. I like it when there is a setup on the way and I'm kind of just waiting for that setup to print. Of course, it's sometimes annoying when it doesn't, and you kind of just waited for nothing really. But that's what happens when you trade a lot of pairs. Sometimes setups come into fruition and they look good, you take the trade, and sometimes they look good and then you just don't get that confirmation or whatever you're looking for, and it doesn't become an opportunity. It's kind of the reason why I do trade such a big range of pairs, and make sure I can pick the pairs I want to trade and make sure I'm picking pairs that look good. But waiting is part of the game, unfortunately. What's up, Tom? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. 2 ways trade, swing 50 MA break. I should have traded the latter on your CAD. Oh, okay. I would have got 125 pips if I traded the 50 break. Silly me. Yeah, it's normally when you look back is when you go silly me. I think, I don't know, because it always depends, because sometimes looking back and then saying, okay, I should have done that, makes things a little bit awkward, because it's like, duh, I should have done that. But then at the time, I wasn't thinking that. I think you just have to understand that, okay, at the time, did it make sense to use the 50? If it did, okay, then maybe it was your mistake. But at the time, if it didn't make sense to use the 50, but it played out well anyway, then it's one of those kind of outlier trades which can sometimes skew your bias because you see the time it works and you feel like, okay, I should trade this, but in general it doesn't always play out well. But if it was generally something, your fault or something your end, then of course you can always improve on that. But yeah, EuroCAD did push down. I remember I was speaking on EuroCAD yesterday, and there was a pretty big move down. I think Euro was pretty weak as well. But I would expect that you'd be looking for EuroCAD to go a lot further as well. So I don't think you've missed out on the move completely. Maybe you just missed out on the start of the move. But I feel like there's more downside to come for EuroCAD anyway. So hopefully you can get involved in another entry confirmation, whatever you're looking for. So I don't think you've missed the move entirely. Maybe you just missed the start of it. But where price is trading for EuroCAD on the higher time frames, the weekly, the daily chart, we could really see a move like this really for EuroCAD. So yeah, although it's annoying to not get involved and take advantage of those 125 pips, I do think we can probably sell off another 200-300 really. So it's not all doom and gloom there. How's pound CAD looking? Yeah, pound CAD hasn't budged at all really. That just shows that euro is so much weaker. Euro pound, yeah. Euro pound's almost back at that low. Damn, that went very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. I was expecting at least some pullbacks there, but no, it just kept falling. But yeah, that happens to me as well. I do because I've got an entry where it's a bit more aggressive, and I've got an entry that's a bit more conservative. Sometimes if I'm waiting for the more conservative entry, I miss a trade. Whereas if I was a bit more aggressive, I would have taken the trade. So there are situations where maybe I should have been a bit more aggressive, or maybe I should be a bit more conservative, which I feel like you're never going to be perfect. You're always gonna miss a trade because of something. As long as your actions on average are correct, I feel like you're doing the best thing. You can always slowly improve as you go along. But you never always catch it right. Use the 50 when you're supposed to use the 50, not use the 50 when you're not supposed to. You can always strive to try and do it better, but there's always going to be that trade that you miss. All right, no problem, William. New Zealand CHF, yes, I forgot about that one. I'll take a look. Ahmed Gold, I will take a look as well. Okay, so yeah, with New Zealand CHF, this one that one's a bit bullish, wasn't it? Because of the NZD news. So yeah, with New Zealand CHF, this one were these all-time lows? I'm pretty sure they were. Yes, they were. So we created new all-time lows. Well, that's another interesting monthly candle closure as well, because all we did was just give a big wick to the downside, and now we're pulling back underneath that low. So that kind of tells me that, again, we're probably going to see upside next month, and we're probably not going to continue the trend. So this swing there on the daily chart, we're probably not going to go and see a continuation of that just yet. It could happen longer term because, again, the market is still very bearish high time frame, so probably will eventually continue that trend. But at least for next month, especially with that big wick, we're probably going to see more upside there for New Zealand CHF. So I think it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a shorter term trade, you might catch some sells. And get rid of this. You might catch some sells as price does push higher, because we're still moving in this ascending format, as you can see with the higher highs and the higher lows here. So we are still quite corrective, and I do think we'll get to a point where we'll see another move down, but I wouldn't be expecting something like this, which is kind of what I was expecting before with the CHF pairs and New Zealand CHF in particular. I wouldn't be expecting such a big swing anymore. I think something like this is a reasonable trade to take advantage of, but I do think the bigger move will be to the upside. There's a pretty big zone here on the left with that big wick, but it's difficult to use it because such a wide zone. So it's difficult to pinpoint where we could sell off from. But yeah, I think the bigger move is probably to the upside now with New Zealand CHF, especially at the higher time frames of closing. There is an area up here which we broke through, never got a retest. Maybe that is an area we could be attracted towards. But if you're looking for some sells, I wouldn't look for anything bigger than this. And if you're looking for some buys, I think they do line up pretty well. Something like that could be a nice setup as we continue with the higher lows. As long as you maintain structure, the buys are still in control. You can still take advantage of that idea. So yeah, going forward with New Zealand CHF, I feel like more upside is the bigger move, is the bigger play. If you're looking for a swing, I think you would have a lot more success with buys rather than sells. If you're looking for an intraday sell setup, something like this as we push back to the higher end of the channel and the sell, I think that's a good opportunity to look for. If you're looking for buys, then I feel like a break and retest of the high, anticipating of the higher low, could end up being a nice swing. But like I said, from a monthly perspective, that big wick doesn't tell me that we're likely going to continue to sell off. Probably going to see a bit more upside. And it makes sense because CHF, yen, USD, they all kind of have similar, they all move in a similar direction and have a positive correlation between them. So when one's weak, normally they're all weak. The correlation is not 100%, but the correlation is definitely there. And it looks like the yen pairs are slowly pushing up again. It looks like the dollar pairs are slowly pushing up again. So we're seeing a weakness in the yen, a weakness in the USD. I feel like we'll probably see a weakness in Swiss as well. Jane, welcome to the stream. I'm in NAS buy since Frankfurt Open. Not sure how high it will go, but I've trailed my stop loss. Nice. Okay, we'll go take a look. I'll go through gold quickly first. Emmanuel, buying AJ, please. Where should I take profit? Okay, we'll take a look. When you say we have a head and shoulder pattern on New Zealand CHF, which time frame? Let me know which time frame. Higher time frames, I can't really see one. 4 hour, unless you're talking about like a inverse head and shoulder and you're looking at this somewhat, I can get behind that idea. A head and shoulder pattern, I can't really see. I can't see a head and shoulder. Inverse, I can. If you're talking about like something like this, that just hasn't formed yet. That still's got a lot of work to do. But inverse head and shoulder there, I can see, which of course does play into the idea of more upside as well anyway. But a normal head and shoulder looking for a bearish reversal, I can't see that. Okay, on the 4 hour. Oh, okay, the inverse one. Yeah, the inverse one. Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, that plays into the idea of more upside as well. So again, if you're looking for some shorts, I can get behind that move, but I feel like the buys are the bigger move, and that inverse head and shoulder does illustrate that as well. That the bigger move will probably be to the upside as well. So I think buys will be good, but we've still got some work to do before that setup does print. Okay, we'll go through gold. So gold didn't do much yesterday, from what I can remember. Haven't really been looking at gold, but yeah, we haven't done much. So 24.80, 25.30 are my areas of interest. These are the levels which I'm looking to buy from should gold get back there. I like our prices respecting resistance pretty well. It's finding resistance there. So to me, it just looks like price is creating another strong level. Should we break this, this will in turn become a really nice level of support to then buy from and anticipate the trend continuing across the board for gold. Monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart, 4 hour chart to a degree is all bullish, all seeing higher highs and higher lows. So momentum, the trend, everything technically about gold is to the upside. So I'm only going to be looking for buys in this climate. Fundamentally, I think gold can see upside as well. And yeah, I would only be looking to take buys. I mean, I understand if you're looking to short as price comes back into resistance, since you respected it a few times. Again, you're looking to take advantage of a shorter term move, more of a reaction rather than a swing. I feel like the bigger move is still very, very much to the upside. So the ideas I'm after is a break retest of 2480. Should we come back and revisit this as support like we did over there? I will look for some longs. If not, we get a solid break and a retest. Again, looking for the same idea, and then some buys to the upside. Since these are all-time highs, there isn't a solid level to target or to look for. So I have marked on 2550 as an area you could look at. I've marked on 2600 as another area you could look at as well. But yeah, there's no support resistance or structure to aim for. So you're just going to have to be looking at the psychological levels or just trade a stop. It's up to you how you want to manage that. But yeah, gold expecting upside still. If I go and touch on, was it NAS? Okay, NAS, buying NAS since Frankfurt open. So yeah, NAS is looking good. We marked on this area here yesterday. It looks like a nice reaction from that, and price is looking very bullish. I'm very bullish on the indices. I do think indices are going to push up. I do think NAS is going to get back to this high at some point in time. So I'm very much in the mindset of look to buy, expecting market to push up. US 30 has already created, just about pinched it, but new highs above that point. S&P 500, not quite there yet, but I do think these highs are going to get taken out. And NAS, I think the same thing. It's just this one's a bit far away. High time frames look very bullish to me. Really nice rejection here. I'm looking at this as being the next high low in the weekly chart. So if that is going to be the next high low, you're going to expect at least price to equal that next high or create a new high. So I think upside looks good in the higher time frame perspective. It depends what you're looking for, Jane. Are you looking to try and look for a day trade, or are you looking to try and swing for, to try and take this as far as possible? Because it would depend on how much room you give on the trading stop loss. Because if you're looking at a day trade, you don't want to be in a situation where you're giving the market too much room and then the market kind of just spills over and knocks you out at break even or a smaller profit than you could have made. If you're looking for a bigger swing, you've got a bigger stop loss at play, you naturally target bigger swings, then you can give yourself a bit more room, because I think there's a good chance we do get back to that high there. But as we come back into resistance, there could be a bit of a bearish reaction, and price might do something like this, which could knock your stop loss. So it depends what you're looking for. I would say just trail how you would see fit. You're never going to be perfect, but as we approach these areas, maybe you could take some partials off as well, some small partials just to pay yourself, just in case this is the level that does send the market down. If we break higher, you can take some more partials here, just in case that's the market that's the level that sends the market down, whilst you're still trading your stop loss as well. That way you kind of got two components to your management. But I think you're in a really good location, and if the market is going to put a higher low in, I feel like this is a good place for it. So my bias for NAS is a swing back to the high there, but a lot will happen on that way. I think realistically, you could probably get a swing back to the high there, and then you can go from there. But really nice position though, really nice position, nice location. I'm expecting more upside there for NAS. But it's difficult. It's difficult because you don't know if the market's going to have another swing down first before it does continue. And of course, that's why you manage the trade. That's why you trail stop losses, just in case that's the case. But yeah, I think we can get back to 19,900. Probably not by the end of the week, but I would expect that's a good place where we can push into. Okay, so we'll go through Aussie yen. We'll go through Euro USD as well. Aussie CHF Senzo. We'll take a look. I'm in two positions for gold. One entry 24.82 with stop loss 24.57. Another entry 2,500. Okay, nice. Really taking advantage of gold. Do you have targets at play with those positions, Devon, or are you trading stops? How are you looking to manage those trades? And Keba, 4-hour Euro USD sell zone target. Okay, we'll take a look at Euro. No problem, Jane. Happy to help. Okay, you're looking for a day trade. Stop loss very tight. Okay, if that's the situation, just manage the trade accordingly. Either one of these areas could send price down as you approach it. If you're looking at a day trade, then you're not necessarily looking to swing it all the way back to the high there. Then if you do catch a move back to the high, great. But you want to be tight with your stop loss, because as a day trader, you don't want to give so much room to the market just in case we spill over, because that's not the move you're after. But yeah, I do think we can go very high from a swing perspective, but day trading, you want to keep an eye on those areas there. But looking good so far. Momentum's really picking up right now. Okay, so we'll go through Euro. We'll go through AJ, then Euro USD. So Aussie yen, again, another yen pair, another awkward one. Again, we're coming into a really big level, which we could sell off from, but judging how price is moving, judging how the Japanese index is moving, I don't have a lot of confidence here that we're going to see a big sell-off for AJ and that the market's going to drop like this. I feel like if you're looking for a quick day trade, maybe even a scalp even, I feel like as we approach the high, you could get a nice short off that high there, maybe back to the lower end of the range. But I wouldn't be looking for any swing to the downside here. I feel like Aussie yen probably will follow what New Zealand yen did, which is break higher. So I do feel like we probably will break to the upside here, and there might actually be some nice buys after that on the retest of the high. So that could be an interesting opportunity, but we'll probably discuss that next week. It's not probably going to happen and set up all in this week. So we'll discuss that next week. But for Aussie yen, I would say a nice opportunity would be looking to play the range high, which is around 98.827. If we can get a rejection there, I feel like that's a nice place for a short. And probably looking at the 50% of the range could be a nice place to lock in some gains. And then maybe you can target and leave some positions to run to the lower end of the range if that's something you're looking for. But it's an awkward one. If you're looking if you're buying AJ and you're looking to take profit, then I would say that high there would be a smart place to do it. Not necessarily to lock in everything, but I would suggest locking a good proportion, because of course we've been struggling to break this for some time. Like I said, I do think we eventually will break the high, so you can probably leave some positions to run just in case we do that. But this would be a sensible place to have not necessarily your take profit, but at least a place where you're going to bank some gains, lock in some gains. And again, like I was speaking with Jane, it just depends what type of move you're after. I think even a push into this area is a good place for a take profit as well. Depends what risk reward you're after, what type of moves you're after, how many pips you're after. All that does play into play a big role in terms of where your targets are and where you want to put your take profits. All I would say is that keep an eye on this area, because those are places where the market could turn against you. So it makes sense to lock in some gains or put your take profit there. I'll leave that decision up to you. But yeah, I do think we'll break higher. So I think maybe leave some positions to run just in case. We'll go through Euro USD. A few people requested that pair. So Euro USD at 1.1111. Test sell zone target 1.00. Okay, so you're looking to sell euro. I'm still very much looking for upside in euro, but I'm probably going to wait till Friday before I make that decision, because looking at the monthly chart, if we do close back down here, like within this wick area, I probably would expect to see a deeper retracement for euro next month and then possibly the bigger move. I still do think this is my target, depending how the month closed, doesn't really matter. Up at that high there, still very much my target for euro. So long term, still very bullish. You can see we've been very consistent with all these higher lows here, kind of in like a big bowl shape pattern. So even if euro does have a big sell off like this, I'm still going to be expecting a higher low to form and us to push higher. So I'm very bullish on euro longer term. I'm expecting a push back to that high. Same thing with the DXY as well. I'm very bearish on the DXY back to this low. Even if we do go through a crazy push to the upside, I do think we'll top out at some point and continue lower. So long-term bullish, looking for buying opportunities. It just depends how far we will retrace, and I'll get a good insight into that on the weekly and the monthly candle close this Friday, because I'll see what we do in relation to that level of resistance. If we close above it, then I don't expect to see much retracement in September. I think we'll just keep pushing up. If we do close below it or within the level, so we just leave another wick, then I feel like we'll probably see a bigger retracement in September, maybe halfway through that candle there. So we could see price push maybe halfway. This kind of lines up to 50, maybe even the 0.618 there as well. You know, those are a couple areas where price could potentially get to before we might see the continuation to the upside. So depending how we close for the month, will give me a big insight to how far we retrace. But in terms of the direction, in terms of where I'm expecting euro to end up, it's definitely still at that high. All market structures kind of pointing that way for me. So if you're looking for sells, I think that's still a decent bet. But again, you're probably taking advantage of retracement rather than a big reversal. So you don't want to be too greedy with your targets. You said you're looking to short from 1.11, which is around there-ish. Let me go to the lower time frame. Let me delete this out of the way. So you're looking to short from a retest of a low here, I would expect. And your target is 1.00099. So that would be... Okay, you're looking for a really big move. I think that might be a typo as well, because 1.0009 is, yeah, past these lows. So I'm not too sure you're looking to hold a trade that far. I think maybe just 1.09 is where you're looking for, which would be around here, which is still a pretty big move. So yeah, I mean, that is possible, but I wouldn't be so optimistic with those targets if you're looking for a push all the way down to 0.09. Definitely because in terms of momentum and market structure, we've been very consistent with higher lows. We're putting in higher highs and higher lows on the daily chart as well. So if you're looking for a down move, I think it makes sense. But looking for anything as big as this is always going to be very up in the air. We could see the move. I'm not saying we won't see. We could see that move, but you want to be very active in terms of your trade management and protecting that trade as we push down, because there'll be many areas where price will find support and potentially push back up against you. So if you're going to go for a big risk reward, you don't want to be in a situation where you've got a definite target at one of these lows and you see price move, 50%, 60, 70, 80% in your direction just to turn around against you because the trend is just continuing. So you want to protect yourself against that. I think it's not a bad place for a short. Like I said, I'm not really interested in selling euro, so it's not a trade that I'll look for. But in terms of the technicals, at least in the lower time frames, it does add up. Price has gone from making higher highs to now making lower lows and lower highs. So it makes sense. But again, I still expect retracement. I still expect this bearish move to be a retracement, to be a pullback. So I think if you're going to trade euro to the downside, trade it intraday, you will have a little bit more luck than trying to swing it for any big targets. Of course, if you've got a plan, stick to the plan, do what you need to do. But that would be my advice. I think euro to the downside intraday looks good. There's momentum there. Euro is currently weak right now. I think USD's got a bit more upside to it as well. So I do expect USD to keep pushing up higher. So that would drag Euro USD down as well. So there's a good opportunity to the downside, but I don't expect us to go too far. And same thing Same thing with pound as well. Although pound you might have a bit more luck on, because this one hasn't really seen much downside yet. So, and this one's really forming a nice head and shoulder pattern. That can break, that can be a nice short there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for euro. Looking at buys, pullbacks, but yeah, any price to be getting to some of these areas first before I do look to long. And I think I'll just wait for the monthly candle to close as well, see how that closes, and then I'll make my mind up as to which levels I'll be interested in. But in terms of the directions, that's very much set in stone already. Unless something changes drastically, I'll only be looking to buy euro from now on. Okay, so I'll go through Aussie CHF for Senzo. Hopefully that made sense in euro. Okay, first trade target 25.33, 25.26. Okay, so that's roughly coming back into the high there. So 25.33. That's more or less, yeah, that's more or less the high of that wick, and 26 is around here. So you're more or less back to the prior high. Yeah, I think that looks good, to be fair. When you're trading direction of favoring higher time frames, you've always got that extra wind in your sails. At the higher time frames want to continue, they'll continue. So looking to buy gold in this climate, there's always going to be a half decent idea. It just now then comes to your execution and making sure you're buying at the right time. Because if the market's going to go up, it's going to go up. But you just want to make sure that you're buying at the right time in the right locations. And you have yourself a decent recipe there. So I think it's looking good. I think likely we're going to push through that area and break through anyway. So I would expect your targets to be hit. Of course, anything can happen really, but I would expect to see more upside there for gold. We'll go through Aussie CHF. Yeah, so in terms of analysis for gold, just looking for buys 24.80 or 25.33 on a break and retest. But I'm only expecting upside for gold. Well, only looking for buys, not necessarily only expecting upside. We'll probably see some downside at some point, but I would only be looking for buys in this situation. Nothing is telling me to short gold just yet. What's up, Manzondi? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. William, welcome back. Hope you are doing good. Any other markets you're looking at? I know you've been very focused on the yen pairs as well, but the yen pairs are not playing ball right now. They're not playing ball. Let me go through Aussie CHF. So Aussie CHF, we're seeing some upside this morning as well. How's the monthly looking? Yeah, another big old wick to the downside, just like New Zealand CHF, its counterpart. So again, it's not looking likely. I mean, again, at some point, I do think we'll eventually push the downside and take out this low. So I'm still very much bearish longer term, but none of us are really looking to hold a trade for multiple weeks, multiple months, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but I doubt anyone's here holding trade more than a month. So we're not really looking to play that move just yet. But what I can say is that the market has rejected the low very firmly. And based on how we're moving the full hour, it does look like we probably will see another move to the upside, at least back to the high there as well. So if you're looking for shorts, I feel like shorts still look good, but we probably need price to come a lot higher. This low looks like a nice place for a short. It lines up really well with some resistance here on the left as well. If I take this across, you can see beautiful resistance there. Lovely support there as well. So I do think this is a really nice place and where the market may be attracted towards. We've seen some downside over the past few days, but it looks like price has found some support and maybe its next higher low. So I do expect something like this to happen and get that push back into the high. And then we could be looking at that bigger sell, possibly back down to that low, maybe further. But for now, this is where I kind of would be interested in. And at the moment, we're seeing a lot of momentum, and I feel like we're just going to keep following what New Zealand CHF is doing. So, yeah, going forward with the CHF pairs, it does look like we might see some upside for them. I think longer term, they're still bearish, and I do think they will continue that trend anyway, but it's not the right time to be selling right now. Like I said, bias is one thing, and bias is not too difficult to work out, especially when you're using high time frames as well, using multiple time frames to come up to a bias, come up to a conclusion. But then where the money is made, where your success is made is on your execution, on your trades, where you get involved, where you're buying, where you're selling, where you're taking your profit. That's what will affect your P&L at the end of the day. So bias is one thing, trading is a whole different game. But that's kind of where I'll be interested for shorts. At the moment, I would expect more upside for now. Okay, for me, it's only the JPYs at the moment. Pound Swiss might take a position on that if New Zealand doesn't work out. Okay, fair enough. Well, if you know what you're looking for, no need to try and lose focus and get distracted. Yeah, Pound CHF, I've been eyeing up that one, which I do think can give us a big swing to the downside. But again, the breakout was okay, but I don't like the fact that we're coming straight back inside, because I was speaking on New Zealand CHF yesterday. We were just kind of moving sideways in this range. I said that's good because it looks like price is holding on to this area here pretty well. So it does look like price is looking to find a top and possibly break lower. But what I want to see is a bit more of a commitment to the downside. And then I'll be looking for my retest for a short. And that's kind of the idea I have for pound CHF. So I like it. And I think the move on Discord is probably similar to this. Maybe not the exact level of entry, but the direction of things are the same. So I still like that for pound CHF, but I don't like the fact that we broke straight back inside the support level we just broke through. So hopefully we can really commit to the downside, find some shorts, retest the area, and that could be a nice little swing opportunity. But there is a move there for pound CHF. We've been consolidating for a few days now. What is up, Robin? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning, Darker Sean. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. What is cooking today? I don't really have a lot on the menu, to be honest. I mean, I do have a few pairs on the menu in terms of my watch list, but nothing on the stove. Everything is still in the cupboard for now. UNSD kind of sold off without me. Really, really big sell-off the past couple of days. Pound NZD looks like it's following suit. I like it because now we've just got a fresh, clean break. So hopefully I can find a retest somewhere now. But UNSD definitely did leave me in the dust a little bit. This was the bonus pair for this week, but yeah, very, very bearish stuff. Very, very bearish. I appreciate that, Robin. Appreciate that. If you guys are joining the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. Make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And of course, check out the Discord channel if you want to chat with other traders, share your ideas, see what other ideas people are sharing. Of course, there will be some discount opportunities there closer to launch. Trying to get myself in the center. There we go. We use some discount opportunities there closest to launch for whatever making traders. So make sure you're involved. But I appreciate that, Robin. Happy to help, Senzo. Okay, took the double top, but I agree with you. Awesome idea to take a trade at that level. Okay. Yeah, if we could see the break there, it will make a lot more sense for pound Swiss. I don't know if we will. I've got a feeling that the yen pairs will push higher, and that'll probably grab the CHF pairs as well, and that'll take them higher too. Because again, these markets are all correlated. There's a correlation between Euro USD and Aussie CAD. Not an obvious one, not a huge one, but markets move a certain direction during times of fear. Globally, the markets will move a certain direction in times of greed globally as well. When the world economy is doing well, people are taking more risk and they're buying certain things, which means the dollar will be weak and this will go up and that will go up and this will go up and that will go down and that will be weak. So everything is kind of correlated together. Of course, in terms of on paper, Euro USD isn't really correlated to Aussie CAD, but to a degree, it is. Same thing with like pound USD and the CHF as well. There is a slight correlation there between it. So when the yen pairs are pushing up, you do tend to see the CHF push up as well. There might not be like an exact correlation in terms of as they go up together, they both go down. But in terms of fundamentally, when yen's weak, Swiss is weak as well because they're both kind of safe haven currencies. So people either taking their money and put it into those currencies at the same time or taking them out, which causes a lot of weakness and strength together. So yeah, I've got a feeling that if the yen pairs do push up, I feel like the Swiss pairs will join it. But we'll see. Again, price action is the most important thing to me. If the price action looks good, I'll always take the trade no matter what's going on. Because that's what I've tested and that's what I've seen work. So I'm going to take those trades all the time. As long as it's a good trade, it fits the plan well, so good quality, I'll always take the trade. So that's the most important thing to me. But of course, I've got my own experience, own intuition, as you guys would have as well, which does factor in a little bit. There is a fine line because you don't want to make sure that your feelings or your emotions are spilling out into the markets. But if you've noticed patterns, you've noticed things before, you can definitely use them to your advantage. USD CAD, thoughts on reversal. Okay, we'll take a look at USD CAD. I haven't looked at UJ yet today. I don't think I've brushed over the yen pairs, but I haven't looked at dollar yen yet in detail. If I've missed out a pair, let me know. I don't think I have, but I probably have, knowing me. But yeah, I'll go through USD CADs. Thoughts on reversal. Now, I'm expecting USD CAD to keep falling longer term. I feel like we probably will see some upside at some point because the market's been so bearish. I think naturally we're going to see some upside anyway because the market needs a retracement. But I'm looking at the higher time frames, the daily, the weekly, the monthly in particular. As I said earlier in the stream, we're about to get a monthly candle closure for USD CAD here, and look at that month. That is a beautiful candle, really nice looking, big wick to the upside, rejecting the high of the range, and a big shift in momentum, closing as a nice bearish engulfing candle. So that tells to me that next month there's a good chance we're going to see some downside, not necessarily close bearish, but we are going to see some downside next month, even if it's just in the form of a wick, and then we pull back up and close as a doji maybe in September, who knows, or slightly bullish. I do feel like we're probably going to see some downside at some point next month. So the idea is to try and catch that top. Not necessarily the top, but at least an area where we could sell off from and see that wick to the downside for the next month. I think in general, we're probably going to push to the low of the range anyway, because this is where USD CAD has been ranging for quite a while now, since September 2022. So it'll be 2 years next month since we've been ranging in this area, rejecting the high well, rejecting the low well. So I do think we'll eventually push to the low anyway. So for USD CAD, if we do see somewhat of a reversal to the upside, I do think it's temporary. It may just be to retest some structure back around here and then see some follow through, which would be my preferred setup and the opportunity I was waiting for this week, but doesn't look like we'll see. So if USD CAD does see some upside, great. I feel like price is just having a big retracement. We've had such a big drop, so upside is likely anyway. But I do feel like the bigger move, and the market is likely still to keep falling. So my idea is to see a pushback down to 1.324. We'll see if we can see some upside. I'm not interested in the buys at the moment. I'm only looking to sell. But I want the market to push up, of course, so I can sell it later on. But yeah, in terms of my bias, in terms of what I'm looking to do, it is all of the short side of things with dollar CAD. But if USD does see a bit of a bounce from the zone here, which is doing so far, then I would expect USD CAD to follow suit. But yeah, I do think it will keep falling at some point. Okay, where were we? So yeah, USD CAD, I do see some more downside. We'll go for UJ. Okay, we'll take a quick look at pound Swiss, Euro USD, pound NZD as well. I like pound NZD. It's looking pretty good. So yeah, in terms of dollar yen has been an interesting one because a lot of the yen pairs have been very sideways or been slightly bullish in New Zealand yen's case, but USD JPY has actually been trending to the downside, which is what I've been looking for all the yen pairs to do. But UJ is the only one that's kind of done that, and that's purely because USD has been so weak. I was mentioning this level here at the start of the week as a nice place for a short. We did see some downside. We came back into it again. So the market's finding it hard to break through. However, I don't like the fact is that we formed a higher low here. I would like us to kind of rip through the low here to show me that this trend here is still very much alive and the bears are still very much in control. The fact is we're kind of struggling at this low is not a good sign. So the shorts still look good in the retest of this area, but if it was me trading this and I was looking to trade dollar yen, I would look to try and hop in at the first attempt, and I probably would have got stopped at break even on this move. I probably wouldn't look to re-enter again. We could still sell off, but the better moves that I catch are normally in the first or second test. And normally, if I do see a good rejection in the first test and we come back, it's not normally a good sign. Certainly, if we're putting a higher low in. If the market created a new low and then came back, okay, I'll look to take that trade because I'm still seeing conviction to the downside. I'm still seeing lows taken out, so I was still happy to get into a short. The fact is we formed a higher low. Tells me that the buyers are still somewhat battling, still somewhat holding ground. So I feel like if you're looking for a short, it's not a bad place for it, but I wouldn't expect anything crazy in terms of a big swing. If it does happen, it's a bonus and you kind of left some positions to run just in case we do that. But if we do catch a short, I feel like a sell-off back into this area is pretty reasonable. A nice little day trade, maybe back into the low here. And you probably want to look to call it a day. Anything more is it will be a bonus. In that case. So I think shorts are still pretty good with dollar yen. Main reason being we're still very consistent with the lower highs. The market hasn't broken structure since, so I would still be looking to attack the sells in these conditions. But like I said, as we approach some support down the lower time frames, you want to be considering looking to managing that trade because yeah, I'm no longer very bearish on the yen pairs. I do think a bigger move to the upside is the likely move at some point. Maybe not this week, but I do think we'll see a bigger move to the upside for the yen pairs. So yeah, I don't see this one going too far. But then it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a quick day trade, you might be in luck for that. I think the biggest swing probably will be to the upside. In terms of pound CHF, again, we're briefly going through this one before. But yeah, with pound CHF, as I mentioned, I do like the shorts with this one. If we can break lower, I feel like the shorts look really good in the retest of that same level. 1.112, we've been holding at support a couple times. If we can break through, I do really like this level for a place to short for and see some downside. Again, I'm not completely convinced pound CHF might be coming back to the low, but in terms of the technicals, we've seen a really nice break with a lot of momentum. We've since then come back to retest that low, nice double top at the high, and looks like price is now trying to break through this level of support. the neckline, the double top pattern, if you will. And of course, that will leave behind us a nice level of resistance to short from, should we get back up there for a retest. So I really like pound CHF. There's a lot of room to the downside should we see that move. And it's a nice level to work with as well. And I like the fact that we've just formed that double top and we're rejecting that level pretty well. So this is the move that will make the setup valid, that will introduce the setup to me. And then once we see that, then we can start speaking about some pullbacks and some retests for some shorts. But yeah, I would only be interested in sells for now, and we'll see how far that goes. In my situation, I'll be trading a stop loss, so I won't really have targets in mind. I'll just be seeing how far I can trail it. Maybe it pushes 1R my direction before reversing, or maybe it pushes 5R. We'll find out. That's the beauty of trading stop loss. You don't really know how far the trade's going to go. Sometimes the trade that you least expecting to rip in your favor, it does. So I'll leave targets open. Like I said, there's a possibility we get there, but I'm not quite convinced anymore. I feel like if you're going to have targets, you want to be looking at these kind of areas to take your targets, or these partials anyway. But yeah, that's the move I'm after for pound Swiss. We'll go through pound NZD next, and we'll go for Euro USD next, and then we'll take a look at pound NZD. In terms of Euro USD, still very bullish in my book. Looking at a lot more upside. I'm looking at pullback and then some buys. My target very much is still the high at 1.125. That's what I do see the market heading towards. So if we do see some downside for Euro, which we are seeing, I'm just expecting that to be a pullback for the market to form a higher low. I've marked out a few areas where we could buy from. If we have a deeper pullback, I've got some areas down here we could look to buy from as well. Pretty much just lines up with the prior highs over there and over there as well. So yeah, Euro USD I'm very bullish on, very bullish longer term. But intraday we might still see some downside. I know someone's looking for some shorts on the retest of this area, which I think looks like a good opportunity. I'm just not expecting anything crazy, because I do think the bigger moves to the upside. So if you do get into some shorts, it's most likely you're taking advantage of a shorter term move or retracement. There's nothing wrong with that as well. You can get some really nice moves, anti-trend, counter-trend. So especially in FX as well. So there's nothing wrong with going counter-trend. You just got to make sure you're sensible and you're not trading it like it's pro-trend. So yeah, Euro USD, if you're looking for some shorts, I feel like there is room to the downside. Retest some structure would be your best bet to place some entries. But in terms of my case, I'm looking for that bigger swing back to that high, 1.125. I've marked on a few areas which look good for a retest, and where we can plot some trades from. So that's what I'll be waiting for. But I'll also wait for the monthly candle to close as well. And that will give me a good indication to see how far we pull back, if we're going to push up or not. But yeah, definitely very bullish on Euro. Okay, pound NZD I'll take a look at next. So yeah, pound NZD broke to the downside yesterday. Of course, the NZD news really helped that come into play. I do think pound NZD's got a lot of room to the downside. USD had a big sell-off yesterday and the day before that as well. So I do think pound NZD is going to do something similar to this one. I've been speaking about USD, pound NZD, pound Aussie, Euro Aussie quite a lot, and I do think there's a lot of room to the downside for all of those pairs. Longer term, daily, weekly buys kind of. So I do think they've got a lot of room to sell off into. You can see the high there from COVID. We've come back into that same high. So I do see us really selling off. And I've marked on a few areas which we could come into. Actually, let me mark on this area here too. We've got the high over there, which was prior resistance. I do think that can attract price, and we're not too far away from it now. There's an area over there which I do think price will be drawn towards, and this area here as well. I do think we can go a lot further than these areas, but these are some decent checkpoints we can work with from the daily chart. Look, take some partials out or target. That'll be up to you. But what I can see though for pound NZD is the market has maintained all of these lower highs. One over there, second over there, third over there, fourth, fifth. And now that we've broken through this, I will be looking for the 6th lower high in the sequence, and hopefully a retest of that same area there as well, because really, really sturdy support, and all of this will be flipped resistance. So anywhere in this area is where I look to try and get involved, try and play some shorts, and ride that momentum to the downside. So yeah, poundings there really like. It wasn't really on the watch list coming into the week because I wasn't too sure if we're going to get the breakout, but we have seen the breakout now. So I'm definitely adding it to the watch list. UNSD definitely was on the watch list coming into the week, looking for the retest of that big neckline, but it just unfortunately never happened because we were just too bearish. But I do think we can now break through that and hopefully get to the low here. But I need to see some pullbacks on the way. If not, this is just going to leave me in the dust and I won't get a trade. But again, not the worst situation in the world because pound NZD are very similar pairs. So if I can get a trade on pound NZD, then I'm happy. Why is gold just flying? Again, in terms of why gold is flying today, I don't have the answer for that. Again, I'm a very technical trader, so I'm focused purely on the technicals as to why gold is flying. I mean, fundamentally, I can see why in general, but as today, I don't know. Maybe something's happened. I don't know. All I'm looking at is from a technical standpoint. Can I trade this move? Can I take advantage of this move? As to why particularly we're seeing momentum today, that's not really any of my concern, really. I just want to see, can I take advantage of the momentum? Can I get into a trade? And there's a couple of areas which do look good to me. Should we get there? Should we, look how I want it to look? I will be looking at some opportunities to try and take advantage of that. But as to why gold is pushing up in today in particular and why it pushed down a couple of days ago, I don't really know. That's the constant fluctuations of the market, which even someone can give you a good reason why it's doing that, but then again, it could be external factors of why the market's making a move today as well. But yeah, gold is bullish in general, so I'm just going to be looking to take buys in general. Do you usually trade the first intraday of the month? Do I usually trade the first day of the month? Yeah. I mean, in this case, the 1st September will be on Sunday, so I won't be trading on Sunday. But yeah, any day of the month, I don't really have a problem with. The first day, the last day, I don't really see any problem with that. I mean, unless according to your data, you might have something that says don't trade the first day of the month because maybe you have good results then. But I don't really have anything like that for me in my case. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think maybe because the new candles open up, so maybe the market might fluctuate a little bit more. So maybe intraday trades might not be the best, but again, you've got to find that out for yourself if that's the case, because I know people who will just trade normally. If it's their trading day, they'll trade. But if you have noticed that the start of the month isn't really good for you, then maybe you want to sit that one out. And in this case, it'll be a Sunday anyway, so we'll be all sitting it out unless you're trading crypto. But yeah, I have no issue with the first day of the month. But what I will be looking at is definitely to see how these candles close. I've looked at the USD pairs, how they're closing. Very interesting close for quite a few of them. Again, this is roughly how they're going to close because we've only got a day and a half left, so I'm not expecting anything crazy. Although we do have some news this afternoon for USD. I'll go double check in a minute. Some of the yen pairs were just leaving big wicks to the downside, which again is another indication that maybe the sell-off we've seen is temporary. We could be looking to find some strength and some upside for the yen pairs soon. Looking at Swiss yen, big bearish engulfing candle last month. All that happened this month was just almost a doji, really, which doesn't really give me too much information, really. It just means indecision. We've seen a big move to the downside. Momentum's kind of flat. We could see another big bearish month, or we could see another big bullish month. So I don't have too much to say for Swiss yen. Dollar yen, bearish last month, really nice bearish engulfing. We did see some follow through there. As we've approached this area here, the market's reacting, which you would expect to. But again, I don't have much indication of what we're going to do next month really with dollar yen. Aussie yen, an interesting one as well. Big wicks to the downside, about to close like a doji as well. This one could give us a push higher up. About how far, that's a different question, but I do feel like we'll probably see some upside in September there. It may just be a wick, but some upside is likely there for Aussie yen. Euro yen, similar situation as well. Come back into this area, big rejection. I do expect to see some upside in September. New Zealand yen, likewise, big wick. Maybe a bullish close we'll see on Friday. Pound yen, big wick as we came into this area. Probably some upside too. And we spoke about CAD yen as well. Look at Euro NZD there. Huge rejection to the upsides. It'd be very interesting if we get a bearish engulfing candle of this previous bullish candle for last month. If we were to get to a bearish engulfing candle, that would really mean that September probably will see some big downside. Pound NZD, likewise, but I don't think that'll be a bearish engulfing just yet. Euro Aussie, massive wick to the upside. Again, expecting downside there. Pound Aussie, not quite, but likewise. Euro Pound, really big wick to the upside. Looks like that's pulling back down. So that tells me that Euro Pound is probably going to keep selling off next month as well. A wick like that is not a good sign for the buyers at all, especially taking out these previous wicks that are left. And it's like it's just kind of grabbing liquidity to help this this bearish move continue. So I think there'll be a good chance of us coming back into the lows here next month for Euro Pound. So if you have a short bias, probably in a good place right now for Euro Pound. Yeah, Aussie New Zealand dollar I don't like at all. And then you got the CHF pairs, leaving some wicks to the downside, CAD CHF as well. If that was to pull up a little bit more and close above this level, that will mean a lot more upside next month for CAD CHF, Pound CHF. I don't know. That's a nice wick. We could fill that wick. Because it's not into a level, it's just out of nowhere. So that wick could be filled. We'll see how the candle closes on Friday. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do fill the wick. But it's difficult because New Zealand CHF, we've left the wick through the level. So I would expect upside. But then Pound CHF, we haven't. But then again, the monthly candle is always just an indication. You don't want to use it as concrete. You want to have more to your game than just the candlestick closure to judge a bias or judge where the market's going to go. Candlestick closure can be a really good addition to help cement a bias or help add confidence to a bias. But you don't want to use the candlestick alone because candlesticks are very ambiguous. You can look at them in numerous ways, use them differently. Same with a lot of technical techniques, but if you can get a bunch of them, put them together, and then use that as a confluence, then they become useful and very strong. So monthly candles are really good, but you want to accompany with other technical insights as well. Hey, what is up, Casperio? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Thoughts on GU and GJ? Okay. We will have a look-see. So with Pound USD, yeah, Pound USD, I do think the market can still push higher, but I do think it's probably time for a bit of retracement. Market's been so bullish the past couple of weeks. As you can see, lovely closure there, a really nice closure last week. Not so much this week, but very bullish move. So I do think we're going to see some retracement. I marked on a couple of areas where we could retrace towards. I've mentioned this level here, 1.313, and also this area here around 1.305. Those are areas which would be nice to see the market pull back in towards before seeing continuation. I've marked out this weekly level at 1.33 as well, which I do think there's a good chance the market could go and test since we've broken through this area. So I do think upside is more likely for Pound USD. At the same time, I do want to see some downside for a retracement, then maybe try and catch the next buy. The market structure has been pretty clear on the higher time frames. Nice push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, another push. So again, looking for that pattern to repeat, another pullback somewhere, and then of course another push. So the idea is still very much the same there with pounds, looking for the upside. It's just, can I find that next high low? Can I make sure my execution is good and take advantage of that swing? But I think for now we'll see some downside. I've mentioned a couple of times, but I do think dollar will see some upside now as well. Come back into a really big low. Markets rejected it very well. So I do think dollar will push to the upside there as well, which of course will help pound USD, take a bit of a breather and see some downside if USD is going to be strong. So yeah, it depends what you're looking for. Few people will be looking for some shorts right about now. And again, I can see why, but you're mostly going to be taking advantage of just retracement there. The bigger move in my book is still to the upside there with pounds. So I'm only be looking for buys. I really like the level here at 1.305. It's just a big if pound USD will get there or not. But I do think pound has a lot of room to the upside. And in terms of GJ, a bit more tricky with this one. GJ's just been sideways for the past couple of days. Actually, more than a couple of days, couple of weeks actually. Not a couple of days. We've been very sideways for the past couple of weeks for pound yen. It's been difficult to gauge what price is going to do next. Again, I've been pretty bearish with pound yen and the rest of the yen pairs, but judging how everything is looking, how everything's setting up, the fact that we still haven't seen that sell-off yet, it makes it look like it's very less likely for us to see that big move now than we were at least a couple of weeks ago. So if you're looking to trade pound yen, again, if you're looking for an intraday perspective, you're looking for intraday trades, I feel like just taking trades up high and down low is your best bet. As you can see, we've got a really nice range here. The market is respected the high of the range on numerous occasions. If we get back there again, there's another good chance we could react. So naturally, this is a nice place for a short. And naturally, this is, of course, a nice place for a long. This will be a nice place for a long. So that, to me, looks like a nice opportunity there for pound yen. But these are more reaction trades in terms of, okay, price has got to an area of significance, it's reacted, not necessarily respecting a swing to come from this. I think I'm just going to wait to see how price breaks out. Do we break to the downside or do we break to the upside? And I'll go from there and reanalyze and make some calls of what I'm expecting next for pound yen. But what I can say is at the moment, we're trading comfortably in the range. If you're looking for opportunities, especially on the shorter time frames, you're not looking for swings, I feel like pound yen is a good one to look at. So you're shorting up high, you're buying down low. And it's a pretty big range as well. If you're looking to trade the full swing of the range, that's a good 250 pips. A lot of room to work with, a lot of pips to catch. So that's the best I've kind of got right now for pound yen, given the circumstance of the conditions. But should we get a breakout, then I can be a bit of more use in terms of a swing, because I was looking for something like this for pound. I'm not so more anymore. Not so more anymore. A lot of more's there. So yeah, that's kind of my update on pound yen. What's up, Lauda? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound yen and pound USD. Not the best conditions for pound yen, but I do like pound USD. That's definitely on the watch list, and I'm liking the buy opportunity there. But it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to develop. How is silver looking? Yeah, silver's just a bit awkward at the moment. It's difficult to understand. I mean, not understand. I know exactly what I'm looking to do with silver, but in terms of the current price action, it looks like we're struggling to break the high. So I'm not too sure. Is price going to start consolidating here? We're going to break down. I'm not interested in any sells at all. I know the move I'm looking to take advantage of for silver is a swing to the high. So I'm looking for silver to come back into this area. Same thing with with gold back to the swing high and new all-time highs. I think silver is going to follow suit. It's just about finding a good opportunity to trade it and stick an entry on. What's up? Follow the trend. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Forgot which pair you mentioned yesterday, because I remember you were trading a pair yesterday. Forget which one now. I was going to ask how that trade is doing. Lauder, the weakness in the pound all seems to be heading down. Yes, I mean more so weakness with euro. Euro's been a lot weaker because euro pound has been dropping pretty hard. So yeah, euro pound's been dropping pretty hard. So euro is a bit weaker than pound, but again, correlation wise, they're both weak. It's just here euro is weaker than pound. But yeah, pound pairs have seen some downside. Euro just done it a little bit more stronger. Okay, dollar CHF longs. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, dollar CHF still kind of bouncing at the low. Haven't really taken off yet, but we're still kind of holding on to it. Still holding on to that. So I do think euro, not euro CHF. I do think dollar CHF looks like a good buy, but it's taking its time. New Zealand CAD coming shallow of 0.52 ahead of some Miko figures tomorrow for CAD. Yeah, you were talking about 0.852 yesterday, weren't you? As expectation for New Zealand CAD, it was a strong break of the high there of that level. That was my query yesterday. I said push 0.52 looks good, 852 looks good, but we need to break above the high. Now we have. I do expect us just to continue higher, back to 0.85 and 0.852 back to the level you recommended. So I do think the upside looks good for NZD-CAD. In fact, if we would see some downside, I think a retest of this area could actually be a really nice trading opportunity. Nice little corrective pullback into that area, see the next higher low. And I think that's a nice little opportunity to be looking at, or something along those lines. And the push 0.852 looks good. Nice daily candle closure. Actually, no, because of course it was this morning. I thought we had a daily candle closure, but we don't. It'd be nice to get daily candle closure above that area today. But yeah, since we're trading above that level comfortably, that's what I'm expecting price to push into next. So yeah, I'm definitely agreeing there. Let me actually go take a look at the news, because I said I was going to look at the news earlier. Because I think we've got the PCE today, or was that tomorrow? We do have some USD news today, I'm pretty sure. Thursday 29th. Okay, we've got jobless claims today at 1:30 UK time. Okay, GDP growth rate, that's the one. We've got GDP growth rate for USD at 1:30 as well. Expected to go up to 2.8 from 1.4. So yeah, we could see a bit of USD movement today then. Again, GDP is not something that I'm too concerned about, in terms of, at least from the safety of trading, in terms of, okay, we've seen a crazy move. You can get slipped badly. So GDP is not something that I'm too focused on, but I understand that can definitely move the market and affect dollar. So if you're looking to trade USD, particularly at the intraday level, I would keep an eye on GDP at 1:30 UK time, which is about 2 hours from now. And then tomorrow we've got Aussie retail sales early in the morning. German employment rates, Euro CPI, that could be interesting. CAD GDP, that's tomorrow as well at 1:30, and PCE as well for USD at 1:30. and then Michigan consumer sentiment. So nothing crazy in terms of the news, but definitely can see a bit of movement in the market though. How big of a move, we'll have to wait and see, because I wasn't expecting much last week from, not last week, the week before. No, it was last week. Can't remember which news event it was, but we saw a lot of weakness for USD last week, and I wasn't expecting such a big move. So maybe we might see that again, but yeah, keep an eye on those news releases. Okay, we'll take a look at Aussie dollar as well. Follow the trend. Yes, I will go for USD longs, no problem. Approaching a nice order block. Also, I prefer euro on the longer term to go higher. You mean euro as in the currency to go higher? So you're just expecting strength for euro? Or are you talking about euro USD? But I'll take a look at USD getting close to support in the range, waiting for a reversal from there for a deeper fall. Okay. We'll go and take a look at USD. Attempt to sell GU with a small lot. Well, yeah, if it's not looking great, you can always reduce your lot size. You don't have to go in big. I'm interested to find out how many people alternate their lot sizes in terms of a trade opportunity. So if it's a really good one, do people look to increase their lot size and be a bit more aggressive? And if they're not too sure about trading opportunity, would they reduce your lot size? I'm interested to find out how many people do that, because that's always been an interesting debate whether you should be consistent with your lot size or you should alternate between higher risk and lower risk. And I can see reasons for both. Yeah, I can see reason for both, and I feel like it does depend on your trading style as well. Because if you rely on high risk to reward, I feel like it's probably best to keep a consistent lot size, because you don't know which trade is going to be the bigger trade and give you the bigger risk to reward. But if you're going to be a bit more intraday and not necessarily intraday, but you're not looking for such crazy risk to rewards, then I feel like it's probably best to actually alternate your lot size in terms of how good opportunity is, because you can really look to add another element, another dynamic to your trading style, because you're not so bold and risk reward. Because the theory is that if you're going to look for big risk rewards, the idea is that you're looking to let your winners run and you cut your losers. But if you alternate your risk reward too much, the big winner, which could look to pay you for the month, you might put a low lot size on it, then it doesn't become very meaningful. So it might be best to keep the risk reward, the lot size the same. But if your take profits are like 1-to-1s, 1-to-2s, I feel like alternate your risk to reward might actually make you more profitable if you know what you're doing. But you've got to be sensible with it as well, because I can tell people will abuse that as well. Okay, so you increase on A+ setups and keep it mellow overall. I switch between 0.5 lots to 2 lots on a super good swing trade. Okay, so you look to alternate as well. Mostly always putting full account in the percentage to keep the position alive. Okay. You keep lot size the same, something like gold, let's say. Okay, maybe position size was the wrong word. I mean just like percentage risk per trade, because of course, like you said, your lot size in gold won't be the same as CAD CHF, but the percentage risk will be the same. So you're going to be risking 1% on gold, 1% on CAD CHF, but of course your lot size with gold might be 0.1 lots, but then CAD CHF using 1 lot. So yeah, from a lot size perspective, it will be different. But what I meant was in terms of percentage risk. So in terms of how aggressive you will be with a certain trade. Because some people want to double up on some positions which look really, really good, and then other positions which are kind of like in Lauder's case with pound USD. Tempted to sell it, but going to reduce the risk because maybe it's lacking some extra confluence, or or it's just not looking as good as some of the other trades. There's some people big advocates for using consistent risk, and some people big advocates of changing risk. Anyway, in the meantime, let me go through Aussie. Let me go through Aussie dollar. So yeah, Simfway, Aussie dollar. Yeah, it's been an interesting one with this one because we've been very, very bullish over the past 2 or 3 weeks, seeing a lot of upside, strong candles on the weekly, really showing a bit of statement there. I've mentioned that the monthly closure will be very interesting for Aussie dollar this month because it does look like the market's found a really big floor here on the monthly chart. And it just looks like price has respected that floor very well, around 0.64. And that we're probably going to reverse now. And the next main area of resistance I'm looking at is 0.71. Of course, there is a level here, which we're coming into right now, which might mean that we start off September a little bit bearish because we close into the level, we push the downside a little bit. But I do think the bigger move will probably take us back to the area 0.71. So we've had numerous attempts to try and break through this area, all failed miserably. And now we're seeing a really big statement candle, nice wick to the downside, solid candle closure. I know we haven't closed yet. We've still got a couple days left. But, we're probably not going to close too differently to what we're looking right now. So I do think Aussie dollar is going to close pretty bullish, and we're probably going to break higher. So I do expect a lot more upside for Aussie dollar. There is a nice level over here, which we can use as our next target from a daily perspective. Looks like price is breaking past the high here as well. So I think if you're looking at Aussie dollar from an intraday point of view, your best bet is to be focused on the buys. You can see how price is moving, really nice swings in the market. And it looks like we're breaking higher again this morning. So I would suggest if we can find a nice little pullback to retest the high there, I think that's a really nice intraday opportunity. Trade it back to the high there, 0.686. We're not too far away. If I measure that in pips from the low there, about 50, 60 pips there, which is a pretty nice position there for Aussie dollar. And then we go from there. Like I said, we could probably go a lot further. 0.71 is the target I'm looking at from a monthly perspective. So there's room to the upside, but again, I don't expect you to be looking to trade it all the way back to 0.71 in one move. I feel like this move here is a bit more realistic. So I think Aussie dollar buys look good. Still seeing upside there. Nice break of this range here. I think a retest of that would be a really nice opportunity. Probably drop to the hourly chart to try and take advantage of that. And then try and find some opportunities to buy Aussie dollar. And I feel like if you're looking to sell, then you probably want to wait for price to get to this resistance anyway, because that's probably the next best place to sell now that we're breaking through the high here. At the moment, Aussie dollar is still very, very bullish in my book. Okay, I'm always aggressive, but only when the setup is aligning with my strategy. I stay out and wait for the next one. Yeah, I mean that's one of the arguments to not to alternate your risk, because the idea of alternating your risk is that, okay, I will increase percentage risk per trade on a really good trade, and I'll decrease the percentage risk per trade on a not so good trade. But then someone could argue, then why would you just not take? Why would you bother taking the less quality trade in the first place? Just not take it and just focus on the good quality trades, and maybe just increase your risk there anyway. So that could be a logic to it as well. I feel like it's up to the trade, especially when you're working on a personal account as well, where you've got the freedom to make your own rules up as you see fit. But I think it does come down to risk tolerance. It comes down to the personality of the trade. It comes down to the style of trading as well. If you're looking for really, really big swings, or you're looking for one-to-ones and you're scalping, I think that plays a big role into it as well. I was just interested to see what people thought about that. because I know increasing, decreasing risk is a big thing in like stock trading. Not so much in FX. Not so much in FX, but yeah, it depends on the trader. Okay, depends on volatility, and a good measure is the 8-hour indicator. Okay, so you look at how volatile the market is as well. 1 hour bearish order block on gold. Okay, I'll go take a look at gold as well. Tony Gold, let's go. 0.67689 entry. Is that for Aussie dollar? 0.676. Ooh, that's all the way over here somewhere. Looking good, looking good. I suppose this is Aussie dollar because that's the chart I'm on. But yeah, I mean, it's looking really, really good. Looking really good. Momentum is looking good. Nice break of the high. I mean, that's essentially probably what you were looking for. Price to get the break of this high, and it's gone and done that this morning. So as long as we can keep that up and not kind of sell off this afternoon and close back underneath, you should be in a really good place for the rest of the week for price to continue higher. So yeah, Aussie dollar's looking really good. And he says, I'm watching. Yeah, I've got a few. I'll go through a couple pairs people have requested, and then I will get to my watch list. So I'll take a look at gold. I'll take a look at USD CAD and Euro NZD, and then I will go through my watch list. So gold, yeah, with gold again, the analysis is pretty straightforward for me. Nothing crazy here. Just looking for your simple break and retest, looking to take advantage of the current momentum that gold has to offer. We're bullish across the board on the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, all pointing up, all pointing higher highs and higher lows. We've created a really sturdy level of support and resistance here, as we can see. And then I'm looking to see if price can get there again. Let's say we reject the high again. Yeah, that could possibly be a nice opportunity. So I'm open for that buy if it should arise. If not, I'll be looking for the breaking test of the high here, which is proven to be a sturdy level of resistance as well. So if that was to break through, I'll be looking to take the flip and take it to the upside. I've marked out a couple of areas where gold could be attracted towards. We've got 2600 up there, and we've got 2550. There's some psych levels we can pay attention towards, because of course there isn't really a any structure to work with at the all-time highs. But gold expecting more upside. In terms of USD CAD, I'm looking for more downside as well, but I want to see a bigger pullback first. I do think we're going to have a big sell-off back to the low here around 1.324. But in terms of the opportunity to trade it, since the market's been so bearish, I need to see if we can find support somewhere, push up, see some upside, look for a low high, and then I can plot my sell opportunities. At the moment, it's difficult because we've had such a big sell, so I'm not going to be looking to sell down here. I need price to find support and push up, similar to what Euro USD is doing, pushing down. Great. Pound USD is looking like it might do that. I need to use the CAD to do the same and pull back, and then I'll find some shorts. But in terms of direction, in terms of bias, looking for dollar CAD to take a big dive to the downside. And in terms of Euro NZD, some people looking for some buys. I'm still very bearish in Euro NZD, but it has kind of left my opportunity for a buy long, in the dust. Really, it's left it in the dust. Really, I was looking for some shorts on the retest of this low here at 1.808. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get that retest and prices sold off. A few people said they're mentioning looking for buys. I suppose as we approach some of these areas and come back to the low, that makes sense. But I do think USD is going to get back to this low anyway. So I wouldn't be looking to buy USD just yet, because I do think we're going to continue to fall at least another 250 pips back to the low there. Of course, we may push up first before we do see that fall, and that push up might be the move you're after. So if that's what you're looking at, I think, go ahead, do what you need to do if that fits your plan and that's your trade. But I do think this swing has more room to the downside. I do see us eventually coming back into this low here at 1.74. So I'm only focused for the short for USD. I can understand that we've now approached some areas where it makes sense for a buy after such a big move. We're likely to see some profit taking and some retracement. We're coming to an area where we did see a big break to the upside. So a lot of bullish momentum did come from this area previously. So there could be a bounce. So I can understand all of that. But in terms of direction, I do think USD is going to keep falling. So I would only be looking at shorts. As to where I'll look to place my trade, I'm not too sure now because this was the desired area. But yeah, I don't think we'll see such a big move to get there anymore. So I think that boat might have sailed. But if we do bounce here, I do think that's going to be the bigger move still. So, yep, buys make sense in terms of the location where we're trading at. But I do think there's more downside to come in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, so I'll go through my watch list quickly. How about 2:30? What's at 2:30? You talking about the news? Go sells a suicide now. Follow the trend like my name. Yeah, it does help. It does help to follow the trend, I must say. And again, it's just on the average, if the trend is up, then there's a higher chance that the market continues up than reverses. So it always makes sense to go with the trend than go against it. However, there are times where it does make sense to either not follow the trend or maybe look for some counter trend moves as well, especially in FX. When FX, we don't necessarily have a clear cut out and out direction. When the FX kind of does consolidate a lot, it does chop around a lot. It might have a nice trend for a couple of months and then switches trend. When you're looking at like indices or stocks or even crypto for that matter, where the overall direction is up, then following the trend becomes really, really, a good proposition. But FX, it is still a good proposition, but there are times where you do want to hold off following the trend and not necessarily look for reversals, but at least not look to follow the trend. You can look for reversals as well. There's money to be made in reversals too, but there are times where it doesn't really make much sense to follow the trend depending on the location and where we're trading. So you got to be smart with it as well. But yeah, in terms of the condition of gold, yeah, I think looking for buys is always going to be the safe bet. USD the same as pound Aussie on the daily and the current price. Got me confused, to be honest. See how price unfolds. Yeah, if that's the case, if it's not looking clear cut, then you want to leave it and come back fresh in your week. You'll get more price action because if it's not looking clear, then the answer to your clarity is to get more information. Because as a trader, you're looking to find direction and you're looking to find a trade. If the direction isn't clear, then you need more information for the direction to become clear. Then once it is clear, then you can look to move to the second part, which is then looking for a trade. So if it isn't clear to you, that's completely fine. And of course, there'll be some occasions where a market is very clear to one trader, but then very unclear to another. It's because you guys are looking at different strategies, you have different biases. There'll be many different factors that play into it. But if it's not looking clear, then there's no point to waste your time on it. There's many times where people ask me to look at a chart and I just say, listen, higher time frames aren't clear, they don't have a clear direction. Maybe this might be a shorter move you could look at, but other than that, I'm not seeing much with the pair. And then maybe next week I'll be saying this looks like a really nice pair to trade because things have cleared up. So it's always good to leave it to the weekend and come back the next week. In terms of the pairs I'm interested in, so pound NZD is looking good. I'm looking for some shorts and pound NZD. We've just broken lower, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm looking to keep up with those lower highs. So as we can see, being very consistent with it. High over there, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and I'm looking for another one on a retest of one of these areas just to partake in that move down. USD, I was looking for something similar, but I don't think I'll get it. Euro Aussie, I like this one a lot as well. Really nice break to the downside. I want to follow this one lower too. So if you can give me a nice retest of this area, that would be much appreciated. Again, looking to try and catch the next lower high somewhere. And then I'm looking for a push back into this level, really big level of support in the daily chart. That's where we're looking to take it. It's just whether we'll see such a big pullback or not. I'm not too sure we will, but hey, if the market does push up there, I'll be the first in line to be taking some shorts. If not, then hopefully pound Aussie can give me something, because this one sort of moves to the downside as well. But we haven't got the break yet. So if you can see the break, great. Then I'll be looking for some shorts as well. But you can see pretty much my bias for pound Aussie, Euro Aussie is firmly to the downside. So yeah, looking for some shorts across the board for those pairs. They look good. In terms of USD pairs, I'm looking for buys in Euro, but I want it to come a little bit deeper. I'll be looking at some of these areas for some buys. But I'll wait to the candle closure by the end of the week for the weekly and the monthly candle. Then I'll make up some setups for next week. But the idea is just to look to continue the trend. I do think Euro is going to get back to this high here, so that's the direction I'll be trading in. I'm expecting Euro to end up at. Pound USD likewise, I've got a big level over here. I'm expecting price to get to. This will be my preferred level to buy from, the retest of the high. Again, it's just whether price will get there or not, but I do expect to see more upside there for pound USD. USD CAD likewise. I like the shorts for this one. Will we see pullback there? Not too sure, but that's definitely my preferred level. So USD CAD is looking good. I do like USD because it had a solid break above the high here. So I do think we're just going to move back to the next big level, which will be this high here as well, 0.63445. Now that we've smashed through this one, this of course will be turned into support. So I'm expecting to see USD make the move up higher, and that plays into the idea of more USD weakness as well. So you can see very much long term, I'm expecting dollar to stay weak. Maybe we might see some strength for the rest of the week, and rightly so. USD's been so bearish, so I do expect retracement anyway. But I do think USD will continue its original path to the downside. So a lot of the dollar pairs, I'm just looking to buy and expect dollar weakness. Same thing with gold. If we can get a breaking retest there, great. Same thing with silver, breaking retest there, great. And those are really the pairs which I'm confident about. Yen pairs, I'm not really much in love. I was liking New Zealand yen earlier this week, but I've crossed it off my watch list, so I'm not really interested. Other pound pairs are moving sideways, so I'm not really interested either. And CHF pairs don't look great, maybe apart from pound CHF, but that needs to break lower, and then I'll add it to the watch list. So nothing really to report on for those pairs either. So yeah, in terms of the pairs I'm looking at, USD, pound NZD, Euro Aussie, pound Aussie, and then you got the USD pairs as well. Those ones look the best to me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of my personal trading. But yeah, yen pairs look good, but I've kind of lost a bit of love for them. Not looking as clear. So again, I'll wait for the weekend, see how things close, and then I'll see if I can formulate a bias or a trade setup for next week. All right. Thank you, Nkeba, for coming on. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Take care, Holy One of Israel. Appreciate it. Got NZD pairs for big buys on my radar. Nice. I'm looking to buy NZD USD as well. But yeah, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. So I do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in and saying hello. If you have enjoyed the stream, guys, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. Drop a follow, but hit the subscribe button. This is not Instagram, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you found it useful, educational, informative, entertaining, any of that sort, please be sure to show some love. It does really help out. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the near future. I do really appreciate all the kind messages and the love you guys do show. But have a great day, guys. We've got a bit of news in the afternoon, so do watch out for that. But besides from that, have a fantastic day. I'll be live again tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're free, tune in. I'll see you there. If not, have a good one.